Hare Krishna, Namaste.
Chapter 13 is entitled as Kshetrajna Yoga, also as Prakriti Purusha Vibhaga Yoga, also as Prakriti Purusha Viveka Yoga. Sloka 10. Asaktir anabhiṣvaṅgaḥ putra-dāra-gṛhādiṣu nityaṁ sama-cittatvam iṣṭāniṣṭopapattiṣu. Asaktir, being without attachment, not having attachment towards one's wealth and etc., as they do not aid in one's self-realization. Putra-dāra-gṛhādiṣu, with regard to son, wife, house, etc., which are meant for facilitating one's pursuit towards self. Anabhiṣvaṅgaḥ, not having excessive fondness. iṣṭāniṣṭopapattiṣu, in desirable and undesirable circumstances with regard to them. Nityaṁ, constant. Sama-cittatvam, having equanimity of mind. One should be free from attachment with regard to everything other than self, Atma, even towards wife, children, etc., who help in the performance of one's prescribed duty, karma. One should not have excessive fondness. The mind should always be calm, undisturbed. Equanimity of mind is to be constantly maintained, either in a desirable or undesirable happenings. In the 8th sloka, there were 9 qualities listed, and in the 9th sloka, we saw additional 3 qualities, and in the current sloka, the 10th sloka, another additional 3 qualities are being listed. They are asaktir, anabhiṣvaṅgaḥ, iṣṭāniṣṭopapattiṣu, nityaṁ sama-cittatvam. These are the 3. So let's start with the first one, asaktir, meaning not being attached. In the previous verse number 9, the 10th quality was also detachment, and over here also detachment. But the difference is, in the 10th quality that mentioned in the 9th sloka is indriyarteshu vairagyam. That is, one should not be fond of sense objects, sound, smell, touch, taste, etc., which by association with the sense organs produces enjoyment. Whereas in this sloka, the 13th quality is asaktir, indicates that one should not have attachment for house, land, etc., which produces joy and sorrow through the feelings of mind, the mindness. Point here is not to be attached to the things, having a feel of mind. And this is something we discussed in the 2nd chapter, how if we contemplate on an object, it brings one down. Dhyayato vishayan pumsah sangatte supajayate sangat sanjayate kamah kamat krodha abhijayate krodhat bhavati sammohah sammoha smriti vibramah smriti bramshat buddhinaso buddhinasat pranasyati. That is, when one contemplates on an object, a person becomes attached towards that object. Then that attachment grows into kama, meaning where one desperately needs it. So one can derive some sukham, enjoyment. If a person gets what he wants, then he is happy. But if he doesn't get it, then that gives dukkham. But it doesn't end there. A person becomes angry for not being able to get his desired object. When a person is angry, he will not be able to differentiate between what is right and what is wrong. Therefore, one loses the memory and forget the goal of one's life, which leads one to lose the determination, which causes through the buddhi, intelligence, and one falls down. Therefore, asaktir is opposite of what just we saw. By not contemplating on the sense object, one develops detachment towards those objects. Therefore, one becomes free from the kama and krodha, which are caused by rajoguna and tamoguna. Because he is not affected by the krodha and kama, he is able to discriminate the matter carefully, and his memory becomes stronger, and intelligence towards having a stronger determination to the goal becomes stronger too. And finally, one will be able to attain the goal of realizing seeing Atma or Paramatma. So asaktir, being detached from the things that we come in contact with, from the things that we may have under our possession. The next quality in the list is anabhiṣvaṅgaḥ, that is, even towards one's children, wife, friends, relatives, etc., one must not have excessive fondness. We should know that they are there for us to perform our duty as prescribed in the scripture. That's all. Other than that, one must avoid too much of affection. They are the instruments provided for us to perform our karma, our dharma, as it is recommended in the scriptures. It is even said that regarding those people who help us in our pursuit of self, excessive attachment towards them must also be avoided. So the question comes, how can we simply renounce certain things? We can't do that. Even for a renunciate, a place is needed to stay. So, being said that, how can a person renounce? So the answer is, renunciation is not to simply just give up the place where you live, because everyone needs a place to live, including a sannyasi, but remain there for the sake of being. That's all. Not to get attached to that place. It is said a renunciate, a sannyasi, should not even have attachment towards his kamandalu, the water pot that they carry, the stick, or any of those nature which they use. The same principle is attached to everyone, as Krishna is saying here, that everyone becomes sannyasi in consciousness. That means internally. The last one in the list from this sloka is iṣṭāniṣṭopapattiṣu nityaṁ sama-cittatvam. What this means is to cultivate a quality when a desired thing happens or when an undesired thing happens. One is always equally balanced emotionally. Earlier, in the 10th quality, we saw indriyartheshu vairagyam. Sense objects produce joy and sorrow, and that is called sama-cittatvam. Sparsha means the senses, the touch and etc. The senses with the sense objects produces joy or sorrow, and this is called sama-cittatvam. In this matter, sense matter, it is quite difficult to hold the mind steady, regardless of the happening is desirable or undesirable. Let's see an example. If it is an extreme hot condition, can the mind remain undisturbed? Or when it is an extreme cold condition, can we be balanced without being disturbed? Answer is no. Therefore, controlling the senses are much more difficult than controlling the mind. It may be a surprising statement, but that is why the example has been given. Senses demands attention right away, this very moment, whereas the things happening on the mind, the emotions, are called sankalpikam. The previous one is called samsparishikam, whereas that which happens on the mind is called sankalpikam. This is much easier to control than the samsparishikam, the urges and demands of the senses. Say we are attending an event. We have been invited to attend an event with many people gathered. We may feel ourselves to be someone special compared to others. We may expect a respect, honor, glorification, special attention, etc. If it happens, it brings joy and we feel very special about it and feel that this event is desirable one. But if the opposite happens, if no one even cares about it, pay any attention to us, or just consider us to be one among others, then obviously in one's mind a person may think this is unfavorable for him or her. But what can one do? Just simply return home after the program. That's all the person does. Therefore, the demands of the mind at certain time can be postponed, can be blocked, can be controlled, because it is not affecting the body like the previous one. Cold and heat and things like that affects the body and needs an attention. Whereas over here, it is not the same case. So what has been said over here as a good quality, high quality, is that when things comes to the mind, whether favorable or unfavorable, one doesn't get disturbed by them. one must be always equally balanced emotionally. To summarize, 3 qualities that we learned from this sloka. Number 1, asaktir, not having attachment towards the things. Number 2, anabhiṣvaṅgaḥ, even towards one's own family members, friends. Number 3, iṣṭāniṣṭopapattiṣu nityaṁ sama-cittatvam. When desired things happens or when undesired things happens, one is always equally balanced emotionally. Asaktir anabhiṣvaṅgaḥ putra-dāra-gṛhādiṣu nityaṁ sama-cittatvam iṣṭāniṣṭopapattiṣu.
Namaste. Hare Krishna.